Hey everyone, this is Jamie. If you're new to my channel, just subscribe. That's pretty much it. So today I wanted to talk about how to put this softly. So usually I talk about things which I see throughout the week, and I haven't touched fashion a lot in the last God knows how many videos. So I figured that I should touch that and a few other subjects. So, well, if I have the time and I have the energy, because the way my channel is structured, every video is structured, is the fact that I just go on a rant as I would when it comes to a talk. So my channel is structured as if I'm doing a talk and I talk about different things. And there is no edits, therefore there is no sort of like, I don't like edits because they feel a bit manipulative at times. Like, okay, so you found this very problematic to say, and while I like the flow of things, even when it comes to poses and etc. And obviously, I'm training to do less poses. Yay. So I wanted to talk about. I was browsing Reddit as always. This is where I get my news usually, and not always. I get my news from different sources. Please don't think that's just Reddit. And I came across a Discord made for trans guys, and they were like, "We don't want." I'm sorry if I'm calling out. We don't want guys who are into yaoi, femboys, who do makeup and etc. And I was like, what? Like, what does yaoi have to do with it? So what? You can't be gay now? And they were like specifically labeling this as a this is for binary dudes. And I'm like, well, I'm a binary dude. Like, why can't I go there? Like, if I enjoy two guys fucking or something, you know? So that was very interesting. Obviously, it got some downvotes. I don't know what happened to the post in the end. It got criticism, but in the end, it still left a very kind of annoying taste in my mouth. And in general, I wanted to say that we already know that the trans guy community is very divided, specifically when it comes to binary, non-binary, so trans masc people, trans men, and obviously you have this perception that some people have the perception that binary is too toxic, some people have the perception that binary is toxic, some people want more binary spaces, some people want more non-binary space, some people want inclusive. When it comes to myself, I think it should be a bit of both. Like, we should have spaces which are inclusive, and there should be spaces which are specifically just for binary trans guys and non-binary, so trans masc people, for instance. Because obviously, not non-binary identities overlap, so just like stamping non-binary and being like, oh yeah, there's a non-binary Discord, of course it has to exist. But at the same time, it would be beneficial for trans masc people to have their own space. So yeah, and it's kind of annoying that because people police as if makeup is just a non-binary thing or just a femme thing, it really kind of leaves me without a space. And I know there's subreddits like FTM Femininity, but the thing is, I don't exactly identify as feminine. Like, I do go to those subreddits. I enjoy their content. I support them. I post in those subreddits. But at the end of the day, I don't really identify with being feminine. Like, I've gotten into too many fights and too much abuse and too much negativity for me being who I am to be perceived as femme again. Like, I am a binary dude. I just happen to like makeup a fucking ton. But people still don't get that. And I think that originally, like, things I talked about previously on my channel, there are things like before the gay rights meant like you fall in love with the person instead of the parts, and right now we're going back to the parts. So right now people don't understand that regardless of what you wear, your gender expression can be different. Sorry, you may identify as male, female, transmasculine, transfeminine, non-binary, with all the identities under the wonderful umbrella, and still dress up in a certain way, how people would perceive, for instance, a certain way. And obviously, you have to weigh certain things like, oh, will people see me as this? And then you go into the issues of passing. And that's why, like, for instance, I wasn't too keen on Twitter having pronouns because I felt like, okay, well, I am a guy. Why must I enforce this? Um, like, I'm a trans man. I pass already. Like, even when I'm in my days with the most makeup, or like today I wore like these small heels, and I was still kind of feeling a bit nervous about it because I'm so tired of people literally going, "Oh, because you wear heels, you can't be a binary trans guy." And it's really annoying. And I feel like non-binary sometimes becomes more of a slap-on label at times. But I don't know. At the same time, I understand that I could be wrong. And obviously, being a binary trans guy, I see the world sometimes through too much binary bias. So I do understand that not every opinion I hold is right, and I still have a lot to learn. And this is something which people need to understand, that you still have a lot to learn. And it's not specifically from a US perspective, from a UK sort of perspective, Jesus Christ. But it's simply from a, you have to live and accept that there are many, many views and many, many people who perceive themselves differently, who will challenge your perception of what it is to be a person, what it is to be a man, what it is to be a woman, what it is to be transmasculine, transfeminine, non-binary. Again, under the wonderful umbrella. Agender as well. And people really don't understand that. So yeah, so that kind of gets on my nerves, and I've discussed it a lot. But when it comes to fashion, I feel like um, I kind of get tired as well. That even when if we step away from the trans part for a bit, like I do understand that men's fashion is quite boring. Like, let's be real. And that's why very often I like go to the female section and I choose something with a different fit. Like, I just want different silhouettes, or I bought this really nice. I bought two things with bigger shoulders in the past few weeks, and they were both from the female section, and they don't look that femme. And again, I go by the idea that if I'm wearing the clothes, they are my clothes. And obviously, I am a man, and they are men's clothes. And yeah, so you should really go by that principle, and you should wear whatever you want to wear. And I remember back in the day when Susan's was a bit bigger. I mean, I don't know if people use Susan's to the extent other than like average users of Susan's, because I still do check Susan's every once in a while. And I remember there was this thread once which was like, what do you miss the most about your assigned gender? And I was like, so if you miss makeup, why aren't you doing makeup? Like, or if you like dolls, why aren't you playing with dolls? If you miss playing with cars, why don't you play with cars? And it was all full of different things like that. Like, it was literally things which, okay, maybe you don't want to do them outside your house, but you can still like put on some lipstick and walk around the house. You should really aim for a partner which understands that. And this is another thing which I never got, which was how people tend to kill themselves completely for partners. And this is very, very applicable for trans women, for cross dressers, trans feminine people as well. So I never really understood the whole um, situations like, I am not going to do X because my wife is against it, or I'm not going to do X or Y in this case because my wife is against it, which brings me to another topic I want to discuss. I am so, so sorry. I muted everyone. This is the more tricky one, but I do feel like because of this whole idea that we need to be as binary as possible, we need to be this. I was talking to my partner, and my partner's like, it's nearly as if people want to be a caricature of men in this case. And I do agree with that. So I wanted to say that another topic which I found was there is constantly a bunch of threads which go like, "Oh, I can't make my cis wife pregnant," and this is a very controversial topic, and this is something which I do not enjoy discussing in a way where I know I might get thrown under the bus for it. But I do believe that having your own children is really, really overrated. So I find this specifically weird when it comes from the trans community because we literally get disowned so much, and you still want to have your own children when there's people in orphanages. Seriously? Like, that is beyond me. That is beyond me. This is my own opinion. I understand that it may be problematic, I understand that it may be wrong, and everyone should have the right to have their own children or adopted children, since we're dividing these two, which in my eyes are the same. It's your children, or my children, or, whomever's children. So I never understood the whole obsession of having your own children. I guess it also comes from the fact because when I was growing up, I had this. I was my abuser really kind of emphasized on the fact that if I will not be fertile, then my partner will dump me, and that was a very traumatic experience for me. Like hearing that, even though I knew that my partner was okay with the fact that, because I've wanted to adopt since like ever, and in general, whenever I think about such things, I then go back and think about like when you first start your transition and they ask you, do you want to keep your eggs when it comes to trans guys? And I'm sure the same question is aimed towards trans women about their sperm, for instance. So we kind of get that, and they're always like, "Oh no, 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 don't worry. You have to, you can wait. You can have your babies, then come back, and you'll still have like your T prescription, your other HRT prescription, your blockers, whatever. Or like if you want to like harvest, or if you want to, have your own children." And I do appreciate that sentiment. I I do think that it's the correct choice to make sure that everyone gets asked everything, that you think it over, and etc. And I am very thankful for the doctor I got because it was something I was really on the fence about, and we discussed it a lot. And right now he's not my doctor because he retired, but he was, well, he is, he was a great doctor when he worked, and I am very grateful that he handled my situation with very, very utmost respect to me. But yeah, I decided, I talked about it with my partner, I talked about it with myself, and yeah, I decided that after all, I want to keep the idea of adopting children once the time comes. So hopefully, I will get my adopted children. So yeah. So when I see those posts, I do understand that you may get dysphoric. I do understand that straight trans guys exist. I do understand that those individual dudes just want to have some bro time and be absolutely revolted at guys and me who wear makeup. And that annoys me because I'm not a femboy. I do not identify as such. I don't like walk up to people and I'm like, hey, I'm feminine. No, I just say, hey, I'm a dude in makeup. So yeah. So I do understand where people come from, but at the same time, I wish people were a bit more open-minded, and I understand that I should be more open-minded when it comes to people's ideas of wanting to have their own children. But I just think, in my opinion, it's hypocritical because we get disowned so much, and the rate of homeless LGBT people is still a very alarming number, right? So why can't you adopt someone who needs it instead of spitting out a child? I'm sorry. And I want to say that I was really heavily abused by someone who literally spits out babies. So this is where it's coming from. Okay? Okay. So I'm very sorry if I offended anyone with my language. It's just that I was really heavily abused, and I do understand that maybe I word things very harshly. But I do not edit, I keep this as is. And this is my opinion, this is my small channel. And yeah, feel free to leave your thoughts below. Please be respectful, I'll be respectful. Um, Give it a thumbs up if you liked it. And like I said, subscribe, that helps. Thank you.